when he should pay it. And he wanted us to give him his over $90,000 the taxpayers owing for gratuity. And every one of us, including me, only get paid when we settle our taxes. He just settled it. And that's why. And in fact, because he didn't pay much, he hardly got anything. So I don't know. So don't worry. This political that Nazim is involved in. Tell him I repeated it today. So he can go to court and he can get an increased payment from me if he is right. And I will repeat it over and over on the platform. Tell him also to explain why he didn't when he was building his house. Just tell him that.
Okay, I have a couple of questions, but this other one is, election is in like 7 days. On Friday, the police is voting. We did hold your announcement that the OS Observer will be sending a team. Yes. Can you tell us who are the organizations sending observers? Have they arrived in Grenada?
Yes, in fact, I think...
How big is the team?
No, I don't know the extent of the team size, but I know the OS is sending a team. I'm disappointed one. I wrote them about 3 months ago and told them election is pending and asked that they send a mission before the election. This idea of sending a mission just to go and observe voting in polling booth, I really, honestly, I've just been like people at the Ministry of Finance that I was an observer on the 1990 elections. I was an international observer together with Jimmy Carter and Andrew Young in Irish State first election, Haiti's first election, 1990. And we went in there 3 days before election. All we did was observe people voting and vote. I don't know. You want there to observe the process. This nonsense you're hearing about padding list. We've never been involved in it. I will never get involved in it. I am too confident about where we are to even think about this. And even when I was not confident, I never thought about it. But you know something? Who is padding list? 45 people in New Hampshire who are supposed to vote in Northwest where they know that the game is over is now placed in Northeast. That is what they plan to do. We here, for example, they have 5 plane loads coming on to vote. We have no plane load coming to vote. But they gone in front. What he said, old people say, take in front. Before what? Front takes you.
That issue about voter padding, you were saying that some persons from
45 people in North.
How did they end there and what period did they end up there?
Well, it's clear that you would have gone there before the elections. And
so they ended up there for the 2013 election?
It could have too. I don't know how long it has been, but it was pointed out. And my view is that the electoral office had time to do their own review and make the necessary changes, because you have to prove that the person lived. You see, don't forget, those of you who understand how the constituencies are broken up. But you drive through from Grenville Vale up to New Hampshire, and the left-hand side is northwest. The right-hand, as you turn that deep corner, and the right-hand side is northeast. So what has happened is that somebody or persons, either they themselves as individuals or somebody in a political organization would have encouraged them. It's your guess who those persons could be. I can't guess them, but you can guess who they are. Certainly it won't be me, because I'm very happy that the gentleman might want to see him get a few votes. And I would not want not to have votes on my side.
Okay, my final question for now. I had some others, but all my other colleagues raised it. Last week Friday, I was looking at the news on GBN and saw that we have an introduction of a species at one of our hotel compounds. Mm-hmm. I have followed up and discovered where, for whatever reason I would not see the property, but I've also learned that it is also at the airport, and it is also now taken to another property. Mm-hmm. Is government aware of what government plan on doing, and whether or not the property owners is going to work with government to fumigate and get rid of those that came in from soil out of Florida?
Yeah, well, I don't know how it came in, my dear friend. I can't jump to those conclusions. When you make statements that they have to have the facts to support scientific facts. I heard about this, and we have inquired about Ministry of Agriculture, and they are doing follow-up. And of course, they cannot and will not make a statement of fact, not a statement of fact, a statement attributing it to any specific organization until they have the facts to support it. And we don't know whether these were there before. We don't know that. So it's a speculation. So I can't pronounce on this, but we are following up. And as you said, if we find that out that's the case, then we're certainly going to move to do what we have in this country.
Good morning, sir.
Sister, when you finish here, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as I know, the memorandum of understanding would have been handed over to the Public Workers Union this morning in Cabinet Room. From your point of view, satisfied that, okay, this is an issue that has been out there for like 35 plus years. Are you satisfied that significant progress has been made with regard to the pension issue?
Yeah, I'm satisfied, and it took a lot of work. I need to give a lot of compliment to and of course the Permanent Secretary of the Department of Public Administration, and some of the staff of the Ministry of Finance who work very closely with them to reach where we are today. It's a very difficult issue. It's a complex one with tremendous implications for the finances of the country. So it's something we can just say because of our heart for it and saying, well, it's unfair and it's not good, and just say, let's do it. It doesn't work so. When you plan and you make a commitment to something, you must have the basis upon which you believe that will be achieved. And I believe where we are, it looks reasonably good. And assuming our finances continue to improve the way it has done over the last several years, every year, I could repeat that to you, that our prediction on tax and revenue has been surpassed in the actual performance. That's why we have been able to do additional stuff than what was in the budget itself. And that's why we were able to afford an actual one-off. One of the things we have to be very careful of, colleagues, we have signed into a law called the Fiscal Responsibility Act. That is bringing tremendous benefits to this country. The world is watching us, There was a statement today that the government has signed to pay almost $500 million to unions. We got called from the World Bank and IMF because they were giving us support in further enhancement of economic activity. And if we ever break that fiscal responsibility, crap was by with a lot of these organizations. So when you hear a party coming in an election campaign saying, I'm going to reduce this, tell me where the revenue coming from to make sure you don't breach the Fiscal Responsibility Act. And one thing I make, see this thing called oil price, gas prices. I remember 2011-12, gas price was $18. And we called on the government then to do a little room. No, didn't touch it. And the truth is, I don't know if they could have touched it, because if you were selling assets to pay salaries and you dropped the oil price, you would have been in more trouble. Yeah. But when the same party is making an announcement that they're going to drop it, even without assessing the fiscal situation in the country, I think it's clearly it can be believable.
Right. So my final question to you, sir, the open policy, can you just explain that a little more as to how the Grenada will benefit from this?
It means that people have a right. They're planes from different areas, right, have a right to service a route if it so wishes. Because if you don't have that, then all you have to have is bilateral arrangement in your charter, my service and your service, correspondingly so. Then I think that has been a problem, because let's face it, let's suppose Grenada decided once to get additional flight. An airline that the routes in the Caribbean designated one area to fly to is Barbados. Right now, without an open sky policy, Barbados can say, no, I have to protect Liat, so I'm not going to allow your plane to land. We're living in a liberalized world, and I think this whole idea of protectionism this protectionism stuff, you see the debate in the United States? Attempt at protectionism. I'm not sure the president's going to get his way on matters of this nature. That is really the fundamental liberalization of airline activities throughout the world. That's what it means.
Good morning, Prime Minister and everyone. My name is Ariam Bartholomew from the Grenadian Voice newspaper. Okay. My question is agriculture. Prime Minister, various platforms we hear the opposition leaders and many other political leaders speak of developing the agricultural sector, especially agro-processing. They see this as a solution to job creation and overall boom in the economy. What is your can you give me a feasible solution to this?
No, we have stated the same thing. We believe agribusiness is essential. So, in what way? Yeah, you plan to develop this? Well, area? For one, you want to be able to create incentives, right? There are a number of people in our country that have excellent ideas to use local products to make products, manufacturing. The problem, there are two fundamental problems. The inability to get the capital to do it, and the cost of electricity. I think this country has not really got it, that the electricity is playing hampering economic activity in this country. It's a serious issue. And I want to make it clear and repeat, I have no problem with any institution, business, investing in our country. In fact, I love it. Everyone. But I believe fundamentally that monopolistic service like telephone, electricity, water must be regulated. Otherwise, whether it's Grenadian, even if Grenadian own it, and you don't regulate it, and he can raise his price as he wants, that's a fundamental problem. And worse yet, when the person is somebody from outside. Because they don't have the feelings I have about what's taking place in my country, and so on. And I make the point, colleagues, and just to make the point again, and as I said, I have no problem with WRB as an individual. Government doesn't intend to run any electricity company. I would not be part of that. Because I know what government-owned operations are like, generally speaking. I passed through enough of this. But I say that whatever we do, we must make sure that the prices charged are reasonable. And they made the same point about telephone. I remember Cayman Wallace was really angry with us for attempting to liberalize. I led the discussion for the OECS and the liberalization of telecommunication services. Cayman Wallace was mad with us. And they were saying, oh they get and they're giving West Indies Creed all this money. I look at $5 million while they profit. When the books are open, billions of pounds were made from the region. So they give a little pittance. And they say they're so nice to us. And the Godfather. Look, money's made up here, the money here. So if you give a little pittance based on some law that was passed that you must give because of the law, then I don't know that you have been doing us a great favor. And I'm talking about telephone, electricity, and if water is privatized, then you have to make that we have the necessary condition to protect the consumers. So
basically you're saying that you have to get competition to standardize the price.
Competition will drop the price.
To drop the price.
Yes.
So that will be the solution.
I don't see the time right now where you'd have more than one electricity company in the country. So I want to be very careful. I don't see it happening. What we're talking about is liberalizing the generation of energy. That's what we're talking about. So if I have a solar panel on my house that can bring me electricity service, why should I have to go to Grenlec to get permission? That's ridiculous. The only country in the world that is happening is this country. Because the government then in 1994, with the new electricity supplier, gave them monopoly service and the generation of energy. I'm not talking electricity, energy. Now, if you generate it, you have to sell it to Grand Lake, and Grand Lake sell it back to you. Break. That's on my manje popot. I can't be part of that. So I don't think the debate in the country has zeroed in. You know what the debate is right now? Kit Mitchell don't like, or BRB don't like Grand Lake and Boeing, and all the country and blah blah blah, and they give us that for school and they give us that for. That's what the debate is on. It's extremely unfortunate, and I don't blame people, but I'm saying it's very unfortunate that the debate is not really where it should be. Hopefully one day we will see that.
Good morning, everybody. Minister, in relation to Linda's question, a follow-up. The species that she was talking about, 2 years ago, I did a story on that same species. I spoke to Paul Graham, and everybody know who that is in that, and he indicated that it came in through a shipment, because it's not something that's indigenous to Grenada or ever found here before. At the same time, the green frog came into the island. I went and saw that for myself at where they claim the property is. What I'm trying to figure out, and Linda asked, is there some sanction or is there a legislation that speaks to the introduction of foreign species that can be harmful at the end of the investigation if it is found that this was brought in, imported into our country?
Sheldon, that's my problem with the premise of the statement, is that you're stating that it's a fact it came from a hotel. You don't know this.
I did not say it come from a hotel.
No, you said that. You said that.
No, I did not.
I heard you very clearly, but I'm just making a point. You said that you told Paul Graham this thing came.
No, I did not say that, sir. I said I spoke to Paul Graham, and he indicated such.
Let us not argue on this. Let us argue on this. The point I'm making is there were statements made, and the same Paul Graham was attacking the government and me. So, bringing in stuff here. And yet, when you call on him, where is your proof? He couldn't provide it. And that's what I'm talking about. When we're dealing with investment, we're dealing with issues of health. It's not guesswork. Because you can, in fact, affect the country by making a false statements. And therefore, you must have your facts. And I did point out to a friend, Linda, when she made the question, but investigation is taking place. We did investigate that and we found out that wasn't true. We did got outside and we found out it wasn't true. If the data and work was faulty, well, I can't be blamed. But I'm saying we will do the same thing again. And if we find out it's factual, we will, whoever brought it in will have to deal with the consequences of that.
That's what I ask. At the same time, too, I'm trying to get updates here. In a press conference, you spoke about the fisheries officer. Remember that issue? And you told us about the investigation going on at the department in relation to 2 of the officers and some underhand dealings. We never got an update on that.
My friend, I'd like you to help me to get one, too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me make this point. We have a lot of challenges in the public sector. And I'm convinced by elements of the public service. You can quote the Prime Minister on this. The majority of public servants are honest, hardworking, but there are some that live and work in the service and spend their time trying to misuse the resources. They would not do any serious work productively, but they spend their time. You know it, I know it. Some of them are our friends, but they do it, and if they do it, we have to be honest about it. So we have not yet. All the time I say, well, what happened to this report? You're the one that provided them and say, look, this thing was happening. All of a sudden, I shouldn't say more. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So we're hoping here that after March 13th, if you're still in office, we're going to that one.
Well, I would always put, let me tell you something. If we got information today, Siobhan, I ain't waiting for no election. When you say after March 13th, if we're going to act then, no. Look, I have lost friends because I say should go back in this place. And they turn out, next thing I hear, they're on the other side. That's life. If you stand for something, you better be prepared, and Trevor, and you, me, and everybody, to lose something for something you stand for. And thinking about is a vote. Let me make this point. You cover up one vote by my friend, you lose 10 persons. You deal with one issue, you lose a friend, you gain 10. That's my philosophy, and I've seen it happen over and over.
Okay, just one question. Political, is there anything that you think you should have done different in 5 years?
A lot. I can't if I wouldn't give you a litany of them now. I've always said I'm not a perfect person. And clearly, there are a lot of issues. I mean, some of the weaknesses that exist in the public service. If we had hindsight, some things that we could have done differently, we probably would have done it. So, I mean, I could sit with you and talk to you a number of them. And that's not easy to find out. I'm a sinner. All of us are. So, I make mistakes, my friend. The one thing I do, I'm the first man to admit when I make a mistake. I'm not afraid to say it because I'm human.
Mr. Prime Minister, I know that we are in the height of the election campaign.
Yes.
But as somebody who has been in leadership position for decades and always championing the development of young people, I wanted to the involvement. I've seen a number of young political persons with a lot of young people spearheading it. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
My friend, the issue is not just young, you know. The issue is ability to make a contribution while still being. I ran for election in 1972 as a very little boy. But I didn't go on the platform just cussing people. And I had my act together. I had an education. And a scholarship sitting there waiting while I was running for office. It was together. But because somebody's just 24 years or 23 years, they have one level, you want to tell me that person will run country? No, I think we have to be careful. Standards are important, man. It's not just young. We have young people. Kendra Stewart, chief, there's a lawyer. Together, so she can come make contribution to people. We have Kate Lewis, young persons. And we have others we can define in the same way. It's not just young. It's about contribution, my friend. I think that's the definition. A lot of young people. But I'm not going to put somebody in a job just because they're 20 years or 19 years. I don't believe that's the criteria at all, not young. Young and capable.
And finally for me, are you committed, if you were to be returned to office, that March 14th is going to be an official public holiday?
If we get the results that I expect to get, you will have a national holiday. Next question.
Oh, just one quick question, PM. The polls are showing a NNP victory. That's what the polls are showing. In the advent of NNP victory in the election, what are the implications for ongoing relationship with the social partners? I know you mentioned on the platform that you will expand that in an NNP victory, but we have seen you have been meeting with them for the past 5 years, almost as a second cabinet. But we've had a situation where maybe the NGO community seemed to be bullying the parliamentary elections office. A lot of that seemed to be coming out. How would that affect an NNP government being re-elected and expanding?
Just views and the behavior of certain persons, whether a trade union or NGO, will not affect what we do afterwards. Many members of the NGO team that were on the social partners with us were known to be people very active in opposition politics. That did not stop us from working. We made it clear from day one. Many members of the trade union movement last election were not supporting the NNP. Many members of the business community were not. And many churches were actively against us. That did not stop us from issuing a call, which I thought was a correct one. The election is over. We have a country to build. We have our political differences. We may or may not change them, but that should not be together or not in improving the lot of the people of our country. That's if we care. So the NGO community, and I could have seen some of them were very, not as relaxed as they should be from in the early part, but I think as relationship built, not that they changed politically, I think I saw people being more open and honest with their feelings. We sometimes have a strong debate inside there, and sometimes I say, my friend, listen, remember, the government was elected. So sometimes we have to agree to disagree. Because if I go and take every decision that one part of an organization, social partners, want me to take, and if that causes problem in the country, I can't go and say to the people, well, I didn't want to do this, but the NGO made me do it. The business community made it. I have to take full responsibility. So they understand that sometimes we have to agree to disagree. And a statement that got to all of them, I make the point, I said to them, particularly to our trade union brothers, I said, listen, you fought me. I fought you for years. In 2008, you succeeded in getting me out of office. But you lost thousands of jobs. So I lost, and you lost. Let's go for win-win now, no man. And everybody started to laugh. And I believe that's where we are. I want to make the point about strengthening the social partnership. One day I will outline specifically, we'll do it. But broadly speaking, I don't believe we have enough youth on that committee. There are a number of youth organizations. I think we should have representation from them. I believe we're too narrow with the business community, just the Chamber of Commerce. And I know Commerce represents not enough, broad enough business interests. So I think it'd be good to have the Hotel Association and other areas. So broaden it. So I intend to broaden. And I would pledge no major decision would be taken in government, as we did last time, without serious consultation with the social partners.
Okay, my final question. I believe it might be your last news conference before election. So
I thought you were going to say my last press
conference.
No,
your last press conference before election. Now, in reviewing last Friday, the NMP would have launched its manifesto. Yes. We would have had a manifesto for all previous elections. One of the things that some people do is review what was done and moving forward.
Yes.
The 2013 manifesto focused on the development of a new economy.
Yes.
The president to continue doing some of the things.
Yes.
Some people are saying up to now they have not seen that new economy. What do you say to them? And out of your pledge of having a new economy, which area of that new economy you think impacted most on Grenada?
Well, for one of the fundamentals of this new economy is the involvement of technology in the decision-making process. And people don't seem to understand that is the key fundamental factor. So if you're talking tourism, you have to have technological. We're talking education. We're moving. When he came in government, I heard how the Ministry of Education was so well run in 2008, 2013. That was one of the worst managed ministry under the NDC. When we walked into government, do you know that the data in the Ministry of Education was not computerized? If a teacher, you had to find out where a teacher works, where she works or whatever. You had to go through a pile of papers. When I went there, papers high, so I said, wait, no, you guys live in a modern world. So we are now totally computerized. We now have a system in place where you'll be able to buy services now for your registry online. Very soon we're unveiling the whole plan of action because it's almost ready now. Cabinet will now be computerized, so no longer will we walk with a bunch of pile of papers on us. Parliament also. So business are going to be different. The Ministry of Finance, the Inland Revenue Department, you should be able to sit at home and pay your property tax. That's part of the new economy. Makes things so much easier for you and for the government, and make it easier to collect our revenue accordingly. And I could go on and on and on. Agriculture will change, tourism, healthcare. But the most important part of healthcare has to be technology. And I could go into history of how that should be done, but that's the nature of it. My dear?
Let me get one addition to that. The issue of use of call centers, was it initially part of that new economy? And if it is, what training has been done to the young workers in particular as to how what they need to do and how to adjust to make use of that economy?
And
because we all know from those of us who read a lot, it helped develop.
Linda, that's an extremely good question, and I can't say we're perfect there. We need to advance more rapidly the training of our people. Because that you're right, call centers are an important part of that new economy. And there are enormous amount of jobs, but because the kids are not properly trained, we are not able to access a number of it. So there's going plan of action. Europe is doing quite a lot right now in training people in several areas. And that's why Sandals and of course Silver Sands are almost taking up every single child that Maripa's trained and employing them, satisfied with the extent of the training and the deep understanding of the job that they're supposed to be doing, that they have. So I think it's an area that we're zeroing on because there are enormous potential in serious jobs in that area that we have not been able to take advantage. So I agree that's a weak area, and I agree that's something we have to do more on. Yes.
Reasoning. Will we see a difference in your leadership style?
I think I said that. Place. I'm the same person, Keith Mitchell, but certainly my style has clearly moderated or changed to some extent because you learn. When some people say man is a different, I'm not different in a sense. I'm a more experienced person. And I've learned from my mistakes. And if you are living, my friend, just like you don't want to make the mistake you make 10 years ago and make it today. The mistake you make now, you wouldn't want to make 10 years from now. So I think it's become a pattern. Some people resist change and continue to make the same mistakes over and over. I'm not one of those. Yes, you're right. In fact, some things that happened, that I see happening, people and maybe 10 years ago I would have been fighting TV every minute. But you don't see me doing that now. Because I realize in the end, I'm the loser. Because if you're leading and you seem always in a fight, then you're losing. All right, guys? Oh, I could hardly hear Keisha. Well, just to say, members of the press, yes, yes. Yes.
I know you have said repeatedly that you hinted that this could be your very last general election. Are you keeping to that? That this is your last election?
Yes, I'm determined to keep it. But let me make this point. I am getting so much pulled back. Some people want to hear me say this, and I got one WhatsApp after Tantine. And then another comment from them. And these are people who are not normally NNP. I hear you say you're talking about going, but that's not your thing. We ever saying this. You say you believe in God, so stop that. I say, so I mustn't express my feelings then about what I would like to see. In other words, my is still the same, but I would not abandon my country. My job, therefore, is to do whatever I have to do to ensure that there is a smooth transition. And that's my job. Now, if I fail, then the pressure on mountain me to stay. You see what I'm making? But if I handle it well, the people will not be too bothered, because I'm not going anywhere. Some members of my cabinet who are in my team, I expect to use them. I told them, brother, don't think you're going home and rest for good. You have work to do still. It would be used. I'm making a point. You don't have to be in government representing the country or minister or prime minister to make a contribution to your country. Some of the best contributions people make are outside of cabinet. Okay?
I just had a kind of sly thought. I know last race, but in the end he lost. Would it be a surprise to you if Ali Dowden comes from behind and take it over?
He didn't train. He didn't train enough. I think that not the case here. A dot in the I's and a cross in the T's. The first meeting I had this morning, 9 o'clock, was a campaign meeting, and I caution everybody: you are in good place. I have 3 polls, and I've seen the numbers wherever I go compared to what exists on the other side. But you never be complacent with politics concerned. I tell people that I don't take the people's vote for granted. Every time an election has come, my secretary right now, she's compiling all my private letters and private documents. I go home with it before election. So if something strange, I'd rather come back and say, please give me a little day, I could take out my private stuff back out. Because I remember some time ago, a private letter of mine ended up in a certain newspaper. I got a nice letter from a young lady saying that she liked me, and so I want that kind of thing happen again. So I'm taking everything owned by me. What for the Prime Minister remains there. All right, colleagues. Just to say, I this session, and to say that historically I've always been very happy to meet with members of the press. And I certainly enjoyed this one, and I'm certainly, I just want to say to you, a role is important in what happens. You must never minimize your role. The only thing I've always consistently asked press people is this: give nice, balanced news. Don't give NNP too much news and the opposition. But sometimes I see stories, and not just or against my party, generally speaking, which shows that there's no balance. Somebody reports a story about an individual. Your job is not just to report what somebody who's known to be opposed to the individual says. Your job is to go and search. And that's why I would always remember the Leslie Pear and Alistair Hughes. Because they never did a story against me or anybody without calling me and say, what foolishness you do there now? And throw it on me and let me respond. And if they don't like me, they put out a story the way they had it originally, or modify it. But I find, generally speaking, members of the press today, I don't find that level of, I wish we would see a lot more professionalism. I mean, I'm saying that to you. Some of you are my friends, and some of you my own political organization. So I've seen it to you too, that do your job professionally. A country is enhanced, its governance enhanced by a searching press, not a biased press. Okay? All right, colleagues, thank you all.
Stepping off the plane is so easy to breathe again. Life in the big city has finally took its toll, and it's been so long, but I'm finally home. And what better place to rest my weary bones than on this beautiful island where there's so much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me.
Yes, folks, once again, special good morning to each and every one of you. Yeah, we're on with Hard Talk you just had. And we must first apologize to those of you on the live. We must first apologize to you for the audio issues that we would have experienced a little earlier on. So we do apologize for the quality or lack thereof of the audio a little earlier on. All right. So you would have heard from Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and he was speaking there, fielding questions from the press, asking all kind of questions.
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
Comfortable, right, and confident, right.
He doesn't have to hide from the media.
No.
Yeah. Green Day Saturday.
Green Day Saturday.
Green Day Saturday. Green Day Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. If we put it on our cook, we putting it down with we green. If we taking our bus, we all taking it with we green. Yeah. We going in tongue, we making sure we wear green. If all you want bands, if all you want t-shirt, check them constituency offices. If you can't find there, try and find me. All right? Yeah. So you're getting your green bands, you're getting your green shirts and those kind of things. I don't think it have much cap. I ain't think it have cap left.
The cap gone through already.
Yeah. But or you could go in tongue and get some green cloth and thing and make it tie.
We know how creative our people is.
Especially them ladies. Especially them ladies doing something with them t-shirt and them day.
Give a lady one of them two t-shirt now. Is a whole dress you're getting out of
exactly.
it. You know? Creativity.
Man, and I know something, you're gonna see so much of this creativity over the weekend. On Saturday, as well with the new National Party Youth Arm. And on Thursday, I believe we might have the president of the youth arm might give us a few minutes, and we might have another guest, but he might give us a few minutes on Thursday as well. Or maybe tomorrow. I'll talk to him. We had to schedule properly, right? Nice.
Schedule it and
I think it might be Wednesday. Yeah? But he'll be there with us and giving a little. Everybody asking for cap. I don't have caps. That is one thing I don't have. We do not have caps. You realize, since we do have one caps.
Yeah. You see, the reason we do have caps is, I want my regular thing.
The reason we do have cap, people take it.
You don't have. Put it off away.
It's gone.
Yeah. All have a lot.
Yeah.
We don't have no, but
we do have.
I NDC take mine.
What I could say is, but that's a good thing.
Very good thing.
A former NDC.
Right? Yeah. Well, right now is a former NDC.
Right now is a former NDC.
She insists and need that hat.
What I would say to you all is, those of you that have any, if you have more than one cap, give somebody else one now. We're doing it more than one. Give somebody else one. It's one head you have.
One.
Yeah, give somebody else one. All right? Nice. So remember, we're going to have that massive motorcade this Saturday. That's going to be the youth arm of the new National Party. So youth, get ready. Yeah. All 3,000 plus Imani trainees. Yeah. I will defend you all. Go on the motorcade. Yeah. I will defend you all. And you know, if Sheldon say defending you, you're well defended.
Yeah, they can't
I will defend you all. Go on the motorcade. All Imani. If all you want to. Nobody enforcing all. If all you want to go, go. I am saying that the option is there. You want your t-shirt? You want your bands? No problem. Go on the motorcade.
Go on and you're going on the motorcade to the man that your future is secure.
And teach them a lesson, because here's the thing. They are the ones that were calling you stupid for the last 5 years. They were the ones who sent you home in 2008. They promised you $1,000, and instead of that, you get $0. They take off the one and you end up with 000. Because they sent everybody home. Which is why I've said on platforms, I've said on this program, and I've said directly to persons, nobody should listen to Patrick Simmons and the NDC until they apologize to those 2,000 plus young people they sent home in 2008. Yeah? Nobody should give them a listening ear as a youth until they apologize for what they did. There were some 20 plus programs that were in place under the Ministry of Youth when they came in 2008. They got rid of all of them. From the CARICOM day. Yeah? To the, there was a youth service weekend. Yeah? The Youth Ambassadors Corps carried a different format. The Commonwealth Day activities. The Youth Month activities. Yeah? The Grenada Youth Enterprise Initiative. Find out what happened to all of the young people that were in the GYEI program between 2008 and 2013. Those who they met inside there. Ask them what happened to those people who were running small businesses and so. Simply because they had gained their funding and started their business under the new National Party. Ask the treatment that they received under that ministry.
You know what I've heard, Sheldon, about the youths? You see, NDC sent home over 2,000 young people, right? On ceremonial, just send them, and the staff, send them home. Right now, for the last 5 years, you have not been hearing the young people saying, oh God, they send me home. And what they are saying? Oh, we have been involved in Imani and we are moving on. Right? Even when they pass through the Imani, the 2 years or 3 years, they have moved on to something else, because that is what, that is what was prepared for them. A starting block so they can move on. That is what you're hearing. Not move out. Not move out from opportunities. Right? But they are enhancing themselves with more opportunities provided by the Imani program. That is where we want to be, to secure the future of our young people. Not send them home and have them worrying about what next. We cannot afford for that right now. The future of our country lies in the young people. We have to invest in them, and invest in them heavily. That is what the NNP has been doing for the last 5 years.
Yeah, because look at the difference. The NDC came in, they promised the youth that they would retain them and so on. What did they do? And don't take my word for it, young people. Imani trainees, all 3,000 plus of you, don't take my word for it. Ask the people who were sent home. Yeah? When Patrick Simmons came there in July of 2008 and he said, we ain't going to send you home like a father to you, blah, 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 blah. And then they sent every one of them home.
Everyone.
Ask yourself, what are they going to do to you now? They come with the same promises. They didn't apologize for what they do before. They didn't apologize. They didn't say sorry. But they're coming to you again. Well, if they wouldn't even apologize, they'll go do your worst this time. They'll do your worst.
They're planning for you.
They'll do your worst.
If they ever get a chance, this group there, if they ever get a chance, and which I doubt in my lifetime.
Yeah, and here lies. They come talking about the new National Party cut off the program for providing funding for people to go and do subjects. That's a lie. That's a lie. It was stopped in 2012. NNP came in office in 2013. It was stopped in 2012 because the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Education, and the cabinet of Tillman Thomas looked at it and said that they were wasting money. That's how they looked at it. The cabinet conclusions are there, you can't hide from it. So I won't one of them tell me a lie. The cabinet conclusions are there, including certain ones with my name on it. The cabinet conclusions are there, where they came out and they said clearly that the thing was a waste of money. And here's what they said. They said they were sending people to go and do the subjects, and the people were not going to the classes. Some of them were not going and do the exams, and all this sort of thing that was taking place. So they discontinued the program in 2012. NNP came in office in 2013. And they want to blame NNP and say, NNP, stop the program where they were paying for people to go and do math and English and that sort of thing. Was not the NNP that stopped it. The pass rate was so low that they could not financially justify the continuation of the program. And they started to say that's a waste of time. Yeah? But I want them to tell me a lie. I want them to tell me a lie. Yeah? Because it is the God's given truth. The NDC stopped the program.
And they know that. They know that.
What has the NNP done? We have begun the process of certifying. I think it's quite over, I think it's over 2,000 of them would have been certified at various levels now. Yeah? Third level CVQs. Some have NVQs. But you have quite a significant number, over 1,000 plus, that have the CVQs, the Caribbean Vocational Qualification. That's like an associate degree in various areas. Yeah? And you see, that's the thing. When all you come with this kind of nonsense on the live, this is what has happened. Bam.
Cut them off.
Bam. Bam. Yeah, go on all your live with them stupidness. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, and that's all the attention they're getting. Now, the thing is, they have been telling the young people all sorts of nonsense. I'm trying to figure out certain things here. Now, the NDC is saying that they are going to fund healthcare. Now, the same NDC that get rid of dialysis program, get rid of cancer program, get rid of Miracle Eye program, nearly get rid of doctor's residence, get rid of the medical facility for St. John, never do anything for the other medical facilities, couldn't buy tires and a battery for an ambulance so that the people at St. Andrew could have been properly served. That same NDC, that same National Democratic Congress is coming to you and telling you they won't fix healthcare. But here what they're saying.
How they go fix it?
We go take money from Lotto. Hold on. They go take money. Hold on here. Let's just look at the nonsensical, stupid nature of what Nazim Burke is saying here. No, we have to call it for what it is. They're saying they're going to take money now from Lotto to fund healthcare. But let's just look at it. As it is right now, money from Lotto goes into developmental projects in communities and sporting projects. In other words, the money that is being utilized by Lotto right now, and I have something to talk about just now, coming to it now. Hold on, don't go away. Yeah. And we say a special goodbye to all those listening via 91.9, 91.5. Yes, we know they've got to leave us now. So we're going to join up with a little tomorrow again. Eh? Nice, right. So the rest of you, we here. They're taking the money from Lotto and spend on that. Now here is what. When it comes to healthcare, it is better to spend your money on, the majority of money, on preventative measures than it is on curative and rehabilitative measures. In other words, it is better to spend your money on sporting and so on and getting people to live healthier lifestyles so that they do not become ill in the first place than it is to spend money on when somebody is already sick that you have to go and spend money to fix them. It's responsibility. Once they are sick, you must find funds to try and assist people. NNP understands that. That's why we have created a dialysis program. And we have a government-run dialysis program in the hospital. And you also have the other dialysis program taking place. Yeah? That is why the government has signed that agreement to ensure that cancer patients can leave Grenada and receive treatment not only in Cuba, but other countries regionally as well under a regional program. That is why the government continues to expand on facilities and hire nurses. Not ignore them. Hire nurses. Remember, nurses had to go on strike under the last administration.
Yep.
Ask yourselves where Ann Peters is. I ain't blaming she, you know. I ain't calling her no names and I'm not blaming her.
Hi, Auntie Ann.
Hi, Auntie Ann.
How you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She might appear for the last rally or something.
No. Auntie Ann ain't taking that.
Auntie Ann, boy,
No.
pour them on that.
Yeah.
But NDC trying to fix healthcare by taking money from Lotto. The best approach is preventative. You've heard Prime Minister speak about the importance of exercise. And they sometimes call him an exercise freak because he loves to exercise. He must exercise every day. And the importance of doing things like drinking enough water and eating the right foods and having generally a healthy lifestyle. And the other thing is, don't hate people. No. When you hate people, you know what that does? Do that pulling at your heartstring, your vex, you want to fall down, all kind of things.
Stress out.
And because he doesn't hate anybody, he might dislike things people do. He don't dislike people. Because he doesn't hate anybody. And you hear his mom. I've spoken with his mom and his mom says the same thing. The reason she has been able to live this long and this quality of life and see her children flourish has been because she is not a person that holds any hate or malice towards anybody in her heart. She's incapable of doing that. Yep. And she has always passed that message on to me and others. You must never hate people. Because when you hate people, you go to bed with that vexation, your blood pressure high. You come out, you get up. First thing on your mind is you hate that person, what you're going and do to them, and your blood pressure high. Yeah? So back to it. Preventative measures. Yeah? Preventative measures are important. So if it's me and I'm getting money, I'm going to use that money towards preventative measures. Oh, that's why I'm not seeing my light. It's way down here. Right. Yeah. Preventative measures are way more important in healthcare.
Yep.
So you do proper programs in the schools, you do proper programs in the community, you encourage people to be physically active. And as such, they won't need to end up in the hospital. Unless they have an accident or so. Or there's some hereditary something or so. But you encourage them. So that's the better angle to take, preventative. But the NDC is saying no. They're going to take the money that is now being pushed towards preventative health care and put it only towards curative. So sports, where young people could be active and so they don't gain a lot of weight and then end up with the accompanying problems, diabetes, losing the foot and so at a young age, and all this sort of things, or even at middle age, and so you're losing your foot, and you end up with all this thing, and you have to take insulin, and you're in hospital all the time, or you have high blood pressure, and you have to be medicated, and all this sort of thing, or you're ending up in hospital every now and again. Instead of all of that, you have people living healthier lifestyles through the funding provided through the National Lottery Authority. So that, my friend, what they have presented is total trash. Just call it for what it is. Preventative health care as opposed to curative and rehabilitative. Yeah? So the National Health Insurance Scheme is going to encompass both the preventative and the restorative and curative nature of things. Is curative is the correct word? Curative, I think. I wonder if that's the right word. I have to double check that. I'm sure if curative is the right word or not.
Curative.
Yeah.
Sounds like the right word, but hey, they got the idea. And so,
so that's one aspect of it. Another thing, you look at a crowd of young people and make a doty statement like you're going to run the country without taxes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of the dumbest political statements that have ever been made in the history of the Caribbean.
Who does that?
Yeah. As I say, I don't hate people, but the things they do and the statements they make. I don't hate nobody. Yeah. I could sleep at night. I don't hate anybody. And I sleep very well. I have no problem. But when a statement is dotish, call it out for what it is. You couldn't pay public workers on time. You couldn't carry out projects. But you're saying that you are going to run this country without taxes. Trinidad, with billions of dollars in gas, billions of dollars in crude oil, billions of dollars in manufacturing, yeah, and other sectors. They're not heavy on tourism, but Tobago is kind of heavy on tourism, so they have a couple millions of dollars that they make off of tourism and that sort of thing. But billions of dollars in oil, natural gas, manufacturing, agriculture. Trinidad, who has all of that, and a population of 1-point-something million people, have taxes. And you wouldn't like to hear the property taxes that they have to pay over there. Because it's way more than here. And the other taxes that they have to pay, VAT. Yeah, they have to pay VAT. They have to pay this income tax. All these different things that Trinidadians have to pay. Grenada, who you're not even sure the oil and gas that we may or may not have. That we make millions, not billions, off of tourism. That we may make millions off of fisheries and agriculture. You're telling me that you're going to run the country without taxes? Yeah, you're sure right. You're going to run it down. You're going to run it to the ground. You're going to run it into nothing. That's exactly how they're going to run the country without taxes. They didn't tell you how they're going to, yeah, that was right. They're going to run it without taxes, although they wouldn't get the opportunity. Well, but they would run it they'd run it into the ground. Because everybody freed them.
They are laying the foundation, and they are telling you in their manifesto, they are laying the foundation for disaster. They're letting you read it. It's coming out from their mouth and they're letting you read it. They are preparing a recipe for disaster for Grenada. And they must be stopped. They have to be exposed for what they are. Right? Yeah, they have no future.
It shows, it says a lot about the NDC when they could make that statement about Lotto in relation to healthcare as a primary means of funding healthcare, and not lay out a proper plan as into how to move forward with the National Health Insurance Scheme so that different people who cannot now afford healthcare can afford healthcare, and then Lotto is not a constant supply of money.
Exactly.
Sometimes people realize the money go up, then they play. Sometimes man don't play Lotto for wherever.
So NDC want to gamble with Grenadians' healthcare?
No, but let's look at the other thing. Isn't that the same party that says they're against casino and gambling?
Of course.
You see the hypocrisy of that individual, Victor Nazenberg from Tempe. You see the hypocrisy of that. Well, he say from Caribou. Well, I know him from Tempe. Right?
Yeah.
So the hypocrisy of that individual. They are against gambling. They are against gambling. They are against casino. But they have absolutely no problem with taking gambling money, because that's what it is. There's no other way to describe it. It's a game of chance. They have no problem with taking gambling money to apply it to something else. Well, just leave casinos alone. Just say they have no problem with casino.
And health, they want to involve in that,
Yeah.
The nation's health, they want to involve in that.
We've always spoken, and that's one thing about the NNP. We've been consistent with the positions that we put forward. And when it comes to that position of health and the rehabilitative and curative, as opposed to the preventative, we've always spoken about the preventative healthcare. That is why you have some very wonderful nurses, district nurses and so around the island that hold sessions with people who are diabetic or who have family who are diabetic, and have people going constantly to do their various tests, whether it's to check to see if you have any diseases, whether it's to check and see if you have prostate problems as a middle-aged and even younger now, a middle-aged person, a middle-aged man or so, or to do your breast exams and so. And we have some wonderful nurses out there who are going around the island on a daily basis and are doing sessions with people in relation to these things. Only weekend, I think, up in St. Andrew Northeast, they had a health fair and so as well. Skeeter, good morning. They had a health fair and so. Yes. So they've been doing these sort of things. Preventative healthcare is the way to go.
Yep, that's the way
yes,
to go.
If a person does get ill, you must have the system in place. In other words, when we say you must have system in place, let me teach you, Nazimburg, something you don't know about. You must, as Minister of Finance, provide money to buy medication. He didn't know about that. So we had to teach him about that one.
Yeah.
A doctor, the right honorable Keith Mitchell, teach him about that one. You must, as Minister of Finance, provide the money to pay the OECS Pharmaceutical Fund so that people who get ill will be able to get medication. All right? Okay, Popo? We show on that one? You learn that?
And
nice.
Anne was telling him that all the time, but he didn't want to listen. See, she was begging him to do that. Boss, pay the thing so we can, but he didn't,
he didn't want to give her the money.
He didn't want to. He didn't want to give her the money. He keeping it close to his chest.
He didn't want to give her the money.
Watch, and it's so important that when you talk about healthcare, I mean, look at what this government is doing, ensuring that all the different medical facilities, the health centers around the islands are being developed.
Exactly.
Right? Prepared. So you don't have to overload the hospital. Your first line is the health centers, the health clinics, and so.
Yeah, because, I mean, come on. And the thing, Devon, they would not have bought a battery. He didn't want to spend the money
for ambulance. Imagine that.
To buy the tires or the battery for an ambulance. When he was the Minister of Finance, they couldn't get that. A man had to leave quite Switzerland and come and buy it after he said the ambulance. This Minister of Finance, this Minister of Finance and this Minister of Health, they have made sure that they have ambulances to service the needs of the Grenadian people, especially during emergency situations. That we have a sufficient number of properly outfitted ambulances. In fact, during the period 2013 to now, I'm pretty sure with the 5 on order, and I know of at least 2 others, that's about 7 or 8 ambulances over that period of time that the Grenadian people would have benefited from under the new National Party administration. Yes, we are not saying healthcare is perfect. Don't get us wrong. We refuse to say healthcare is perfect. Because if it's perfect, we don't need to do anything on it.
Nope.
But because we know it is not perfect, that's why we need to ensure we continue to work on the structures, make sure that for instance, under the last administration, doctors who should have gone for retraining in new techniques and so on were not going. This administration made sure that those doctors, junior and senior doctors, that they do get the opportunity to go and do their further training, whether it's in vascular surgery, whether it's in some other field to be specialized in that field, or whether you're going to get some persons to do gynecology, which is an area that has always been left wanting in this region when it comes to gynecology and ear, nose, and throat and that sort of thing. That you can send doctors and retrain to specialize in those areas to come back and offer that service to the government of Grenada. Yeah? And to the people of Grenada, both in their public and private capacities.
You know, Sheldon, significant, and perhaps a lot of people does not know that, in St. Andrews, the representatives in St. Andrews, when it comes to health, I've been getting that information and credible information that out of the allocation that they have for their constituencies, each one of the parliamentary representatives and so, right, have been given towards the Princess Alice Hospital in whatever way.
Exactly.
So besides the government allocating, right, particular things to the hospital. You have the representatives of St. Andrews, right, giving towards the development or the continued operation of the hospital in St. Andrews, in Grenville. Kudos to you ladies and gentlemen, right,
I know
for doing what it takes.
I think it's an embarrassment to the intelligence of all Grenadians to tell us that NDC could fix healthcare.
But I mean,
I think that's an embarrassment to the intelligence of all Grenadians. So all of you listeners, it's an embarrassment to your intelligence to tell you that the NDC can fix anything in relation to youth. The same youth they lied to. Yeah?
Very much too.
It's an embarrassment to tell those young people, it's an embarrassment to their intelligence to try to convince them that they will not be sent home under an NDC administration. That's an embarrassment to their intelligence. They're not stupid. Yeah. They're smart people.
And then how can you come and tell the nation, right, that you're about providing more houses, right? Houses and houses for them. When in your last period you gave away over 1,000 houses.
It's like just the hypocrisy of these individuals. I mean, just I like go back to that 2 houses and 1,000 they give up, you know.
Thousands of houses you give up.
1,000 houses they give up. And here's what. The 300 plus that was built when they were in office were negotiated by the new National Party in 2005.
And distributed by
the NNP had to come back in and distribute it. Because they couldn't even do their part. The Chinese did their part, and the Chinese come, they do their part, they build the houses. Government of Grenada, NDC administration, all they had to do, put in water light, etc., sewage, that kind of thing.
They can't do that. They can't do it.
So NNP had to come back in and do it. Poor Delma. Delma had to come back in and do it.
I mean, these guys.
After that, you still come in and say, oh, we left some completed houses. How we complete? You're the one who talking about latrine pit right now and they didn't put in sewer. Yeah?
You have to laugh at them because they were an embarrassment when it comes to that.
I want to laugh, but it's a serious thing, boy.
I mean, how can you deny the Grenadian people houses when there is a need for the housing stock to be developed?
Because the man didn't want to spend the money.
He keeping it close to his chest. Oh my God!
I'm telling you this, huh? It's a serious situation. We are exactly 1 week away from elections, folks. In fact, for the police officers, we are under a week. They'll be voting on Friday. There's a piece of audio that we're going to play tomorrow. I've been looking for it. I can't locate it, but I do have a piece of audio because sometimes you need to remember what you all have been through. Yeah, police officers. Yeah, immigration officers, and so you all need to remember what you have been through. Yeah. And we'll give you a reminder. Not only the late payment of salaries and so, not only that kind of embarrassing thing where you're getting your money late and that kind of, not only that, equipment-wise, vehicle-wise, there were police vehicles under the NDC. Police vehicles under the NDC that were supposed to be ticketed because they were not supposed to be on the road. The tires was going down to near wire. And police officers had to drive that. And that was not just an offense. You were endangering the lives of the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force. What did this government do? Between 2013 and now, I'm sure they get over 100 and something vehicles.
Real vehicles.
Not only what the Chinese government, and we thank you all, China,
very much,
has given recently, but outside of that, remember there was a set of vehicles that were given last year.
Over 39 or so of them.
Yeah, and then a set that was given the year before that.
Yep.
And a set that was given the year before that. So, that's one thing. By the time the police force say they need vehicles, the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Minister of National Security, and the NNP Cabinet has made sure that they are well taken care of. They can't come and say we have no vehicle to come.
The security of the country is very important.
Making sure that that is done. Yeah, good morning to the Coast Guard officers. We didn't say good morning to them for a while. So let me say...
Well, to the entire Royal Grenada Police Force, the different arms, good morning to all of you.
Yeah, we're saying good morning to you.
You know, continue to do an excellent job in serving and protecting the people.
To the different arms and the feet too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're saying everything. Yeah, to the arms, the foot, the feet,
yes,
everything.
Everything. The ears and eyes.
We know the arms will defeat the other side. Yeah, go and put the finger in the ink.
The finger.
Come this Friday, the bouncing start. House. Yeah, nice.
House.
So we've spoken about different aspects of the NDC manifesto and so on. And it's strange. One of the strangest things I found is that the NDC sent out a notice last weekend saying that they wanted to consult with the public on different things for their manifesto. And then all of a sudden, the same day or the day after, they release a manifesto. So you're telling me the NDC write a manifesto in 24 hours?
In 24 hours, perhaps less.
I wonder if anybody even went to the consultation.
Yeah. Who they really fooling? I mean,
it's obvious that they had the document ready and they were just pappy showing Grenadians.
As they are accustomed doing.
And say we lie, because we have the thing where they put out saying that they want to consult with people in relation to the manifesto.
Yes,
so say we lie now. Say we lie. Or they like to say we lie. Say we lie. We could prove everything we say in here. You sent out a notice week before. That's how you want to meet with the Grenadian people to consult about your manifesto. And then, less than 48 hours after, you went and you had a manifesto launch. So you lie. You didn't want to consult with nobody. You lie. You, Mr. Burke, you lie. Yeah, money and lie. That's the two things with you. Anyhow, yeah, let's say a special good morning to all of them on the live.
Yes,
yeah,
this kind of very lively though.
Yeah, I see that one set of discussion going on there.
Pile of discussion.
Yeah.
Very cordial. You know what? We just stay calm and we go rock them on the 13th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay calm.
And I see Pele saying National Lottery Authority supporting sports, culture, nation building and healthcare. By supporting sports and culture, keeping people active, you are supporting healthcare already. It is preventative. I know you joined the live late. It is preventative. Yeah, it is preventative. That is the thing. It was preventative. It is presently preventative. Help a man not to get sick. Not try and treat him when he's sick.
When he's sick. Don't wait until he gets sick.
Preventative.
Yes. Preventative measures. Put the necessary things in place. From the schools, you ensure that you have good sporting programs, right? So that our children would not grow obese, right? And be stressed out and everything like that.
Notice something. What sounds nice, what sounds proper, and what is proper and applicable in reality is two totally different things. So to come and stand up in front of sensible people and make a statement that you're going to run our country without taxes. I saw a young lady, she said, I went to Progress Park to hear what they had to say. She said, when I stand up there and I hear they say, they go run the country without taxes. She said, I just get up and I walk out. You say, I get up and I walk out. She said, no, these people take me for a fool. I can't stay there and listen to that kind of thing. They insulted my intelligence. What do you mean you go run the country without taxes? So she walk out. But anyway, we heading Pearls on Sunday.
Pearls on Sunday.
Yeah, we
Pearls
heading to Pearls
Strip
on Sunday. We say the whole place go be green. Let's play that for you.
It was 12,000 strong. This coming Sunday, we will better that. This Sunday, behold the final call. A rally of praise and consciousness. As we deliver one more time the message of transformation and empowerment. Come early to the Pearls Airstrip as early as 4 p.m. This is the moment in the campaign when Grenadians come together and begin this new march forward together. It's the final call at Pearls because it's all about one Grenada, one people. Grenada.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, you know, we chatted inside the studio here and all kind of thing, but it's coming up quickly to the 12 o'clock hour. So remember, all roads lead to Pearls on Sunday, but on Saturday, on Saturday, it's going to be a green day. It's going to be a green day. Yeah? We hitting them 2 motorcades. So we go hit them a motorcade Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
And then we go give them,
leading that.
We'll give them a multiplicity of motorcades on Sunday. All right?
From Point Celine.
Yeah. So the
to
youth,
the south.
The youth hitting them on Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday. They cover it. Yeah, the youth covering that.
So me ain't going on that one. That them youth
yeah,
and them.
That the youth thing.
Yeah.
Like next thing you see them grey haired men and them and
on the motorcade.
this and that motorcade and they see them youth. No.
What the rest of us doing, we supporting the youth.
Obviously.
So no matter which junction it is, when we hear the motorcade coming, we out and we green with we flag, with we rag, with we everything, we out green.
Yes.
When we hear the youth and them passing through, we coming out and support them. And in all your constituencies, we know the young ladies take the t-shirts and thing and they making the little dress and the this and the that. Right. Saturday, we out in our numbers. And then Sunday, we out in our numbers again. We green in the places, a green weekend. Yeah? It's a green weekend. Nice? Yeah, because and they see that actually plan to have a motorcade Saturday, but they say the funds kind of low. So, Yeah, the campaign committee say that all them motorcades they had planned for Saturday, the zonal motorcades and the kind of cancel, but funds kind of low.
Kind of get.
So they go kind of put all the resources into Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, they wonder now are using that kind of wording, eh?
Yeah.
So they're gonna put that those resources into Sunday. For the final rally and motorcade. I hope they really know it's the final one because the final one NDC will ever have. Yeah, anyhow. Right.
You know, I was watching a clip I saw about 5-6 men carrying a yellow coffin.
I ain't taking part in that one. Only want to go and say we walking over here. Me, Papa, miss me over here. You miss me.
They don't say it anyway.
Miss me.
Oh my God. But it's a green Saturday and we go roll that into Sunday because Sunday it will be the massive turnout at the Pearls Strip. The whole place will be green.
Yes, indeed.
I'm telling you about St. Andrews. These 4 women pulling out every single man in a hole to come on that airstrip. Don't play with these 4 women from St. Andrews.
Yeah, only because we had a limited time today, we didn't really take the phone calls.
You understand?
We're going to deal with it. Don't worry, we open the line early tomorrow and we go have a nice thing tomorrow
we go handle.
and Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, this morning was a different type of program because we had a press conference. It was important for you to hear what was taking place there. And then we just having this little conversation and so in relation to various aspects of the thing. You understand? Nice, beautiful. Yeah, they go run a country with no taxes. They run a country with no taxes.
You know, Sheldon, leading up to the election, right? For the last 6 months, somebody rightly said, you know, we got rain for the last 6 months. Why? The whole place must remain green.
Yeah, but it was
difficult. Mouths to feed.
It was difficult yesterday. It took me nearly 3 hours to get down to the south of the island. Every time I go one direction, is some sort of blockage.
Not you alone, man.
And
from the north, there was problems.
And it's why the issue of climate change is so very important.
So very important. You see what happened?
And it has to be dealt with, yeah. It's
sudden.
It's not something that you can plan for. You cannot plan for these sort of rain events and that kind of thing. Yeah, so it is something that the National Disaster Management Authority, they always have a plan in place for certain aspects of it, but you don't know that is going to happen today or tomorrow or so on. You don't know that those rain events like that, that constant heavy rainfall in a short space of time, you don't know that is the kind of thing that's going to take place.
A very good experience I had yesterday.
Hey, that's some NDC eyes on the live, boy. You're looking for attention? Bye-bye. Yeah.
What? When I was going up around after 1 minute to Grenville, when I reached by Skilly in Baltazar, the river was coming down brown, right? Because the rain was
heavy the hill.
Yeah, but you know, by the time I reached the Conblae, the water was still clear. You understand? So you know the danger that it could have posed. Persons who in the river doing anything, playing in the clear water, and all of a sudden, right behind their back, is brown water with stone and debris and so coming down. I mean, it was a hell of an experience yesterday. And by the time I come back to St. George's yesterday evening, Baltazar was blocked. Bylands area was blocked. You had to go over St. James. And so the weather pattern, yesterday it was so. But you know what? The rain is falling. The place remaining green. No time for dry grass.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not seeing my list of meetings in front of me for today.
For today or tomorrow.
I'm not seeing my list of meetings in front of me.
What I can say is that St. Andrews Southwest, right, is having their meeting in Harford Village today, 7 p.m. in front of the community center. Okay.
What I'm seeing,
being Harford.
I'm not seeing it from the normal area, but I see it come from another one. So St. Andrew Northwest, they're in Dunfermline. That's a joint meeting with St. Andrew Northeast. So that's Sister Delma Thomas and Sister Kate Skeeter Lewis. Yes. They're having that meeting in Dunfermline. That's from 7. St. Andrew Southwest, as you just mentioned, Harford Village by the community center. Carriacou and Petit Martinique in Carriacou this evening. They're in Belmont. All right. Okay. St. George Southeast, Laborie, the middle road. Town of St. George, Mount Rush in front of Miss Matilda's shop. So they're going by Miss Matilda later. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, we'll go a waltzing Matilda. Anyway, St. David, Wester Hall playing field. All right, they're going to have that meeting this evening in St. David at the Wester Hall playing field. St. Mark, Resource in front at Choco Shop. So St. Mark, they're going up by Choco.
Right by Choco.
Yeah, later.
On top of the hill up there, boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know them area, you know.
Yeah.
So St. Patrick West, they're in Mount Rich in front of Stedman Shop. That's a joint meeting between St. Patrick West and St. Patrick East. So Tonton and Pam, they have a meeting up there at Mount Rich in front of Stedman Shop, and that is starting at 6:30 p.m. So folks, head on out to those meetings this afternoon. Nice. Make sure this evening, really, because it's after 6 this evening. So you can head on out to those meetings. All right? Nice. Beautiful. Devon, that's all the time we have today.
That's all the time we got today. Remember, we got...
Over the next few days, folks, we're going to say this to you. It's important that you note it, yeah? There is going to be put out by the NDC a lot of propaganda.
Vicious psychological warfare will be launched.
Over the past 48 hours, I've seen several new Facebook pages.
Yep.
You've seen several videos attacking specific people. For instance, there's one that they've put out attacking Minister Nicholas Steele.
Yep.
And they're attacking Nicholas Steele because they realize that they have a chance in the South. But folks, we have to ensure that they don't have a chance in the South. The more they attack the different members of the NNP team, is the harder you must work to make them cry next week, Tuesday night. So don't just say they attack and you sit down and they say, oh, you didn't see what they say about Minister Steele? You didn't see what they say about this one? They're saying it because they are desperate. So you're seeing all sorts of Facebook pages that was never wrong. All of a sudden they appear. But here's the trend with them though. They are always shared by senior members of the NDC. The activists of the NDC are always the people that are friends or moderators on these pages. And they are always the first to know when those pages post some sort of negative thing about different members of the NNP team. 1 week from election, the only thing the NDC could offer the Grenadian people is pie in the sky. They're going to put local government in Carriacou in 80 days.
80 days. They bring it down?
They couldn't do it in 100, but they'll do it in 80 days.
80 days.
I don't know if they get out.
Oh, that's a mathematician, right?
I know they get something wrong with their maths. But they will do it in 80 days. That would they say. Right? They wouldn't get the opportunity. But that would they say.
Yeah.
So they can only offer pie in the sky and lies. That's all that they can offer. Our plan is certain and strong. We've put forward our platform, whether it be development of manufacturing and tourism and general development through the lowering of energy costs, whether it be through rehabilitation of our road network and agricultural roads and assistance to farmers in various aspects to increase agricultural production and marrying that with manufacturing and fisheries with manufacturing, while at the same time creating new markets, local, regional, and international. And when we say local, a buy local campaign to cause us Grenadians to understand that we are the best thing here and we should use it. While it is talking about tourism and expansion and creation of new job opportunities and niche markets in tourism, like the yachting sector, like ecotourism, like the blue tourism, those sort of things. Notice we say blue, I are green tourism too, but I don't want to say we're talking NNP thing. And we have proven through things like the Pure Grenada rebranding that we are competent and capable of moving tourism forward. Whether it's the energy sector and oil and gas exploration and what is taking place in that sector right now, the NNP has proven that it is competent. So on election day, just remember, when you go into the polling station, watch, I don't even want to see the name. Is the symbol I'm looking for? Is the box next to it I'm looking for? And I'll use an example here in Jamaica. Just a couple of years ago, there was a candidate by the name of Damian O. Crawford. I remember him because he was a Rastafarian too. Damian O. Crawford ran for a particular seat. What did the other side do? They got a person with the exact same name, Damian O. Crawford, and they put him to run in the same seat to confuse the electors on the election day. I don't look for names. Because, for instance, in St. David, my good friend Oliver, his middle name is Thomas. I want to mix up the Thomases. I'm looking for the symbol. Next thing I see Thomas, and I think is Oliver Thomas Joseph. I want to mix it up. I'm looking for the symbol. All I want to see is where the house there and the nice little box they put next to it to take my local mark nice and neat inside it. So election day, we making sure and we put in the one thing in the right place and return a competent, caring and capable government into office for you, the people of Grenada. Devon, any closing words?
Well, just to say that the NNP and NNP government will never gamble with our health care.
Yes, indeed. We ain't gambling with it, so we ain't going to lotto. Nice? Good. That's all the time we have for Hard Talk, folks. It's been wonderful being here. And remember, in whatever you say, whatever you do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Look out for the propaganda. They're busy on the streets. They're busy on the radio. They're busy all over. Oh, we had to talk about our radio thing. We will talk about that in the morning. Yep.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. On March 13th, choose to keep Grenada moving forward. Mark an X next to the house. Vote competence. Vote NNP.
After a powerful nomination day, the new National Party candidates are ready for your vote. Tuesday, February 20th was the first step towards the restoration of pensions, the implementation of national health insurance, the building of over 600 houses for Grenada, further expansion in tourism, and the creation of hundreds of more jobs. The Dream 15 is ready to take Grenada to the next level. On March 13th, come out and vote the new National Party. Vote competence.
Oh, we're winning right now, I said we're winning right.
I know who I'm voting for. NNP I'm voting for. Tell me who you're voting for. NNP we voting for. So let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. Every man is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving. Keep moving. Pension coming. Keep moving. Better condition. Keep moving. NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your green colors. We came back in 2013. With a clean sweep we win 15. And my country progressing. NNP the winning team. 3,000 jobs for Imanis. The way forward we please. Numbers of higher education. The passport yet volume billion. We create small business. We have the facts to prove this. Roamed in billion a day. NNP only way. Let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving.
Job of what it takes to make this is fast good. Our children office, she's out in everything said. Unify and build an inclusive and productive society. Keep trying the best candidates going. Who does run the country the right way? NNP. And work hard for the people all day. NNP. Who's the party that keep it moving?
We're in Caribou and you can see the vibe, feel the energy. There's so much energy here. We're talking to so many people. Let's go around, talk to some more.
Best nation, best group, best party, vote the NNP.
Keep moving. Sitting and watching. Guys, vote for you. We will wait for you. Because we need hardened and cultural facilities.
Now remember, the New National Party would always and has always and would always be the best party, not just for me, but for all the young people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Remember, guys, performance always beat overtalk, and the New National Party has always given you great performance.
NMP all the way. Keep on moving. From Ms. Pamela Moses.
March 13th, we voting for Kinja, NMP. Keep moving, keep moving.
Yo, Kemina, NMP all the way. Dr. Keith Mitchell, he's a boss. Vote for him and he'll get what you need. Everything. Vote for the boss and he will give you what you need. NMP all the way. Let's go.
NMP, who's the party that keep it moving? NMP.
Mid-latitude cyclone circulation said to be producing northerly swells. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the National Report, I'm Rakisha St. Louis. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, and the Met Office located at the Maurice Bishop International Airport say a mid-latitude cyclone circulation and an associated cold front have been producing some northerly swells. The cold front, which was located in the northern Atlantic Ocean, is now said to be in the northern Lesser Antilles. The Met Office and NADMA say the cyclone and cold front have led to the deterioration of local sea conditions, with waves expected to be as high as 10 feet in northerly swells. As a result, a marine advisory is in effect. Rough seas spilling onto roads were evident in some areas around the island. Both NADMA and the Met Office have issued a warning to sea users and motorists traveling on the south and western coast to exercise extreme caution due to battering waves. Grenada's social partners have again been credited by Grenada's Prime Minister for the successes the country has experienced so far, and according to Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, they will have even more involvement in the next cycle. He was addressing the NNP rally in Tantine on Sunday.
We will broaden the social compact by involving more stakeholders in the decision-making process of our country. In other words, if some people are worried about no opposition, there is no need to worry, because the government that you had in the last 5 years did not go off on its own and did what it wanted to do. We involve our people. In effect, sisters and brothers, you are a united front building Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
On a separate subject, Dr. Mitchell said a housing revolution is on its way, with additional houses to be built apart from the more than 600 to be constructed under the low-income Chinese housing project.
I promise you, with the resources that we expect to come from some major activities that will unfold soon, we will, as a government, work with the private sector to build more homes in addition to the ones the Chinese are giving us. In other words, a housing revolution is on its way.
Small, micro and medium enterprises will benefit from incentives to help generate greater employment opportunities for Grenadians. That is one of the areas that the new National Party will place emphasis on once re-elected. Plans were outlined by Works Minister Gregory Bowen during the NNP rally on Sunday.
So the SMME, Small, Micro and Medium Enterprise Act, will be put in place. Our incentives program will be expanded to ensure that these small businesses get the similar benefits, brothers and sisters. That will ensure that companies will form and provide jobs for 3, 4, and 5. It may sound small, brothers and sisters, but if we get 500 companies, small as they be, micro and medium, providing jobs for 3, 4, and 5, you see, pretty soon we will be increasing our employment, improving jobs by close to 1,000, which will make a significant dent, brothers and sisters, in our unemployment figure.
Mr. Bowen says expansion of exports is also high on the list of priorities.
We will move to expand exports, brothers and sisters, through a national export strategy. We have discussed this with many stakeholders, and this cycle will see the implementation, because export is key in the development of our country, in reducing jobs and in reducing unemployment, brothers and sisters, and increasing the economy as a whole.
This is the National Report. More news after the break. Welcome back. The Parliamentary Elections Office says it is well poised to ensure that the March 13th election is fair and successful. During a working session with the media on Monday, Supervisor of Elections Alex Phillip said during the weeks leading up to Election Day, the office has been working closely with the various constituency offices, canvassing the voters list and training officers directly involved with the March 13th process.
We have taken every action that is possible, right, to purge the list as best as we can. I'm not saying that it is perfect, but we believe that it is a list that we can be happy about, because the persons, we need to ensure that the persons who are there are the persons who are supposed to be there. But as we speak, persons are dying, and there will be persons on the list, definitely, who must have died. As a matter of fact, when we wait on births and deaths to give us those names every 3 months, sometimes you have persons who died overseas and the bodies were not repatriated, and sometimes those are not recorded.
Phillip says one important aspect that has taken priority is keeping the media engaged on Election Day. He gave the assurance that information will be constantly updated so that the media can keep the public adequately informed.
We have hopefully debates, good debates on the night that persons would have data, you would have analysis of data, we would have graphic representations and so forth, that people would see what is happening, comparisons made hopefully with previous elections as to what sort of changes took place, and persons would appreciate hopefully the results and would see, for example, the results that we'll be presenting. When the data is entered, nobody would be able to put in more persons than the persons that are registered to vote in those polling stations. For example, if we know that we have 300 persons registered there, nobody can go in. When we total up, for example, the number of rejected votes, the number of, votes for each candidate, there is no way that it can go over.
Now to recap the headline, mid-latitude cyclone circulation said to be producing northerly swells. And that's the National Report. I'm Rakisha St. Louis.